And so we'll go ahead and talk today about the program for the older students, the 12 and up. And then we have the program for the younger students that are, your elementary age and a little bit lower than that too. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And
Ron, do you have a leadership program currently?
We do. We do. But we don't offer it at all three locations for the same reason that you spoke of. Not comfortable with what some of the satellite instructors are doing or their ability to teach it.
Okay, excellent.
yeah, and we have, is that sharing?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. We have the same issue here. We have a large school. We teach master's classes and then some, try to get in there, but we have other instructors who are teaching the classes, and it's kind of the same thing. You want quality stuff being taught. So if we have time, I'll show you some of that also, the stuff for the younger kids. But this is our Flood Your School with Instructors instructor training program. And we started intentionally and organized at age 12, or if you have an adult that's interested, they start at the same level. This is just the youngest age we have is the 12 and 13-year-old in that group, but they train with the adults for the instructor training at that level. The full program from start to finish, as far as learning how to be an instructor, to finish being a certified instructor, able to lead classes, there's 5 levels. We start with apprentice level. And then how you want to differentiate those instructors, is completely up to you, whether it's a patch or a collar or a certain color uniform, whatever works in your organization. You can do that. We do it with the different color collars on their uniform. But at that very first level, it's introduction to instructing, and we have 25 volunteer hours that they're required to do before they're allowed to even test for that level. So we do have curriculum and a written and a physical test that they have to pass to get to the apprentice level. We don't just let them jump into that. They have to show some sort of commitment to it. And so they have to help out with 25 classes, come to the instructor training, and then they would do whatever physical test you would have them do at that level for your curriculum. And then we have the written instructor test that they would do. And then they're awarded at that point their apprentice level. So each level has a physical test, hour requirements, and a written test. The physical test, that's just dependent upon the art. It is not art specific program, it's teaching program. So whatever art requirements you have, you can implement those.
Okay.
And then basically they just shadow an instructor, an assistant instructor. So as each level is supposed to mentor the level below them. So that's part of the program too. The lesson plans and how we go about training that's all detailed in each one. I'm just hitting the highlights here. And then after that, they are required, to go to the next level, which would be the trainee level. We do require that their minimum age there is 14, and they've been through the introduction and they're developing their leadership skills. They need 25 more volunteer hours, and then they're going to shadow an assistant instructor and also work one-on-one with students. So at this point, you'd have a 14-year-old that would be able to take a child that's having difficulty maybe memorizing, or they're behind on their classes and they need to catch up. You'd have a knowledgeable young person who could confidently do that and do that with you feeling comfortable. because they've been through, one, they have 50 hours of being on the mat in a volunteer leadership capacity. And they've also been coming to your, we do weekly instructor training besides the leadership stuff that goes on in the class. These students that are in this program come once a week to instructor training. So, they've had a lot of skills in that area. Of course, they're all upon your approval, right?
Right.
And that's really our younger guys and their introduction, so that by the time they're 14, 15, you've got a quality person there that, one, you could hire if you want to, and or two, that they're going to be solid out on the mat, doing and saying the verbiage that you want them to say. And then next, let's see, the curriculum is just written to take them all the way through all the programs. So I have age levels on here. These are the requirements that we have, because I'd like to be able to, if I want to, hire them at age 14. That's our state law. And I want them to be, when they step in, it's not like a new experience. It's more of a rite of passage, and they've done all the things they need to do to be hired at this point, and we can go ahead and take those steps. Or keep them as volunteers. There's plenty of them that are at that level. They don't necessarily need or want a job, or you don't have any openings, but they still keep working towards their higher level training. And we have the class assistants, level 3. So at this point, they're in the classroom, they're looking for students that might not be, they've got the wrong foot forward, or they're not quite doing the move right in line, or that sort of thing. So they're on their own. Now we've got some critical thinking going on, where they're seeing somebody who has a need and they're stepping in. Confidently handling small groups, might give them 3 to 5 students and say, okay, let's work on this. And having been through the previous training, I know they can handle that. They can line up the classes, so they're working on their command voice and confidence there, building authority in the school. And we do require 100 volunteer hours for them to move up to this, so it's a little more robust. And then it just goes from there, and you can kind of see that each level is going to take, if you go by age, each level would take about a year. And even our adult students that start in the program, you always have those that are gung-ho and ready to do more and fast track, and or you have a need and you need them there more. That can move up faster than a year, but they still need to get all the requirements in to do that. At least that's what we require. So,
Yep.
And then on your assistant instructor, that's really kind of like your right-hand guy to your certified. They are, they're able to warm up the class, stay after and help students. These are the guys that are more likely to be talking to the parents. They're approving stripes. This child did their self-defense right, so they can award stripes that way. As far as curriculum goes, volunteer hours still. Now, depending on the situation, if we've hired them, they don't necessarily have to be volunteer hours, if I'm paying them for those hours, but they still count towards the 100. So that's just
Okay.
one way to handle it. And then the last level would be the certified, your quality class instructor, who is able to lead their own classes, approve people to graduate, to the next belt. Obviously, if they're leading the classes, alleviating your workload. They mentor the lower levels and manage the assistants, so if whether they're a paid assistant or a volunteer assistant, the lead instructor's job is to make sure that each one is doing the proper level, whether they're working with one student or they can handle a group of 6 if you break up into stations, that sort of thing. And then we have other advanced levels within that, and that's rank requirements and of course responsibilities. So for us, a head instructor or a chief instructor, they would be part of the whole package, being able to enroll people and, go out and do the demonstrations and, run demo teams and that sort of thing. So we have instructors that are certified to teach classes that are not paid staff. But they have their 1 or 2 classes a week that they love just to be part of that whole program. They have their own careers but they teach their classes each week, and that's always kind of nice to have that little backup in case someone's out sick or something. But
Yeah, that makes sense.
so that's really the full instructor training program in an outline form. I follow a very specific, on this week we're going to practice this as an instructor team, and this week we're going to practice, the next level of that. We happen to be going through the qualities of our of good technique. For instance, how do you teach balance? And again, it's not art specific. That way, whatever art you have, there are key elements to balance: hand position, eye contact, breathing, that sort of thing. So I really tried to write it in a way, especially because we offer jujitsu, and we did used to offer Tai Chi. I wanted all the instructors to be able to train together no matter what art they taught. So that's kind of how I've developed it.
A large portion of the curriculum is personal relation skills too. So how to you're teaching your 12-year-olds, teenagers and adults. We all need the practice on how to interact with younger kids, how to interact with teens and adults, parents, how to correctly help people memorize, how to correctly critique and critique the students and things like that. So a lot of it's not just physical. A lot of it is the personal relation skills and things like that, which is we focus a tremendous amount on that part as well.
Okay, yeah, that sounds good.
I noticed. I know you said that you wanted. You were concerned about maybe consistency across teaching, like your leadership program. So, did you have any questions about what we just went over, or would you like to see that junior program?
I'd like to see the junior program.
Okay. All right, I'm going to stop the screen share so I can share the other.
And that was exactly our goal with this program, is for our own academy to make sure that leadership program was being taught the way we wanted it to be taught, even while we were gone. And so that we knew exactly what leadership lessons, because to us that's our core backbone of our academy, is the leadership lessons and skills. And we wanted to make sure the tower.
Okay. This one?
No, either one.
Okay. All right, so let me go back to screen share. Let me see. And I need to share it with the sound on, so let me try this one more time.
There we go.
All right.
8, 9, 10.
Okay, sorry.
Hey everyone, today's lesson is on leadership. Now, there are so many things to work on with leadership, but today we're going to be talking about communication. The two things we're going to work on today are speaking clearly and calmly and keeping it simple. A good leader is going to speak clearly and stay calm, even when things might be crazy around them. That way everybody can understand and hear the directions. When you're giving directions, you want to make sure to keep it really simple so everyone can understand and there's no confusion. In today's activity, your instructor is going to lay targets and obstacles all across the floor. It's going to be one person's job to lead their partner across the floor without touching a single target or obstacle. There's only one thing. One person is going to be totally blindfolded and they cannot see anything. The other person has to give clear directions and help their partner get across the floor without touching any of the targets. If you touch a target, you have to go all the way back to the beginning and start over. They're going to have to listen and trust their partner to give clear directions and keep it simple to get them across the floor.
So we have that length of video, nice and short, that we play at the end of our classes, and then the kids do the activity. So it takes anywhere from 5 to 8 minutes. You could stretch it out, of course, but you could keep it short and simple. Most of the videos are under 2 minutes. So you have your instructor play the video. They could ask questions about what did he say about leadership, and they'll answer it and say, okay, now let's practice that. And then they do the activity. So the junior program, that is, there's actually 52 of those videos. So there's 4 per topic. So if that was teamwork or that was the leadership one, then you would have 4 lessons under leadership and 4 different activities. There's different ways to play them. You could do one a week, and we just that's what we do. We do one activity all week long. So they watch the video every time they come to class and they do the activity. And then you could also do it, one every 2 weeks or something like it. It just depends on how your class schedule's done.
Yeah.
So do you guys run your leadership schedule at the end of your regular classes, like the last 15 minutes or something?
We do.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
How long ago was that we added it in every class?
Well, ever since we joined Master Oliver's group, so it's been about 6 years.
Yeah, 6 years we do leadership every class. Every
Okay.
Yeah.
And some people, I know some schools do like, and we would do like a special weapon on, say, Monday, Tuesday, and then we would do the leadership activity Wednesday, Thursday, that sort of thing. But we've changed that up. We do the weapon also as a station in our classes, and then that way everybody always gets the leadership lesson, because really, that's what the parents love the best. And
Right.
we found with the video, the parents pay attention to the leadership lesson a lot better too, and they're more involved with that also. And we just have the setup where we have a laptop hooked up to because it's on Google Classroom. That's the platform.
Okay.
And we just have that hooked up to the TV that's in the classroom, and it's just set. So the way it works is super simple. Like on Google Classroom, when that was done playing, it stops automatically, and then the next class coming up, all they have to do is hit play. There's no extra sign in, and then the next class coming up, that they just hit play also. So
Okay. And there's a written curriculum to go along with it?
right, each activity, there's a book that has the how to do it. also, which and those sheets are also in Google Classroom, so you could, under the leadership category, you have the written explanations